This is a 1,114 Yoshua Yomi. Like the sponsor upcoming Shir More Yoshua Yomi, please come me directly. Very greatly appreciated. They were doing your day. Okay? You pass you dollar. Pass. Kavush Mikre. What is Kavush called? Shemichin Davar Kavush Davar Solo. When you put actually it should be what is called kavush. When you put a solid in something liquid. One is permitted, one is forbidden, one is permitted. Or you put two solids. One is forbidden, one is permitted. Into a liquid into a liquid. I'm not sure where it goes. It's solo, I guess. Lach would indicate it's moist, and solo indicates that it is a beverage or a liquid. Wait a minute. Doesn't mean that liquid has to be clear. It just to be a liquid. Um, like the Mishnah references pickling olives of chulin with olives of truma. But two things which are liquid. Which found to each other. You can't talk about soak. The bishlama kal gush b'tzolu. We understand that it's true that if something is solid and it falls into liquid, they both emit and absorb from one to the other. But two things which are moist, they immediately mingle and forbid each other. If they're going to answer, they answer immediately. And so too when both of them are solids, they're somewhat moist. Immediately they get mixed together, and they forbid each other. And if they're both solid, I'm sorry, I went back. Okay, let's do that again. Two things which are moist, mingle and get ask each other. They're both solid. Even though they're a bit moist, there's no concept of soaking. If they stand together for many days. Even if you have fat and a prohibited substance is inside the fat, as long as the fat is not soft, the prohibited substance is not prohibited. The rach mikre, what is called soft? Kosher isum is nanea sham. Anything which is like jello, it wobbles. Avalim edom is nanea. If it doesn't wobble, mikre kosher, it's called hard, tough, so hard. Abishu rach mishushat, even though the consistency feels soft. The davar amunach b'mayim kukrushim, or something which is in ice. Gankin mikre krish is also not called soaking. Hey, which is nanea mokal mokal because it doesn't ice does not move from place to place. Yavish, anything dry and dry. If you lacking sauce, even if they're somewhat moist, low make it's not called klisha, as you wrote. Kam netila ain't sarach. Also, if you don't require netila, you don't take of that amount if they touch each other. V'dai badach, it's enough to rinse them off. Or beklipa luchim sauce, or to peel them if they're a little bit salty. Chaim begvina tray, but they have a tray cheese. So some nasa gvina kshera, which is sitting on top of kosher cheese. Man rav even for a long time. Eno Satan doesn't forbid it. Even though the cheese is fatty. Kamo Gvina shell Holland Schweiz, like Dutch and Swiss cheese. Kamo called nevertheless Haksher Mutaris kosher one remains mutter via diach mokum negia, just rinse it where they touched or peel off that place. The dye is there and that's enough. Test. Rashi's our Peter Shachom. Rashi says cover should become it's here. It's soaked. It's in vinegar or brine, which is how we pickle things. Kamfur midvar to cover should dafka davacharif. So holds that soaked is something sharp. Because you should mind, but soaking in water, shar mashkin and other beverages, which are not sharp, low sharp is that coverage. You can't. It's not coverage because he identifies soaking with pickling, right? So therefore, it has to be saying which pickles. Yeshli rag the varvi coming strong evidence what he's saying. Hach Mishnah, the trumas, the chanich bashim zeh mutarim. Everything which is soaked with anything else is mutar. Eliam achosis, with the exception of chosis. Mishum luchar because it's sharp. B'chemazes mishonim yisham, and so too with olives. We learned there to be shleimin lo shakvisha if the whole there's no soaking. Um, Mishum the Shem Shem and Memchariv, it's because when they're whole, they have no sharpness. Um, Mishnah Shvius, he parts compares to Ram Shevenu, and the Mishnah Shvius, uh, the uh, the Rashi is going to learn like the Rambam, which we brought down, which the Shvius is referring to. Kovish Losha Kavashim. And Halach above. Anyway, here's going to have like the Rambam, which you brought there. Is that Shomar Gemara? Of course, says the Basel of Chiddush, the Basel of Chavos Chiddush. The totally Chal if you mix meat into milk the entire day, mutzah with the rice, the mashahedish, shkavish gam davar shein charv. Sounds like it's called yom. It sounds like this kavish even though it's not sharp. Here's Shomar the Basel Shani. Interesting that he says that meat should be different. What should be Zayin? Yushami Sham the Basel Kol Manu Sheish Kvisha. And meat, everybody holds that there is soaking, even if it is not vinegar or brine. In brackets, he says, brings down something which we won't understand unless we see more inside, so we're going to skip that. Yud, Avoshita, Sarosh, Vatur, Shulchan Aruch, V'Reva, Peskim. No supposed to hold. Hold over Lach, Shak, Kvisha, anything moist can create a Kvisha situation. Shia Kvisha may say the amount of time it takes to create Kvisha is from 24 hours. Come over, Irid Kalim, just like in Kashrin Kalim, by pouring into them, the Mina prepared Ema Midim, the Malim Shlosh Yomim, you have to fill them up 3 days. Kamosh, Umaran Shlosh Yomim, you do 24 hours, cycle 3 times. Moshe Plita Gimel Yomim Kamochen Abliya. And just like the Plita is 3 times 24 hours, so to the Bliya, so to the absorption, according to them, these Rishonim, the Yesh Yisraelim is only 3 days, another 72 hours. The Lo Kaim Kalim, we don't hold that way. The Glo Dami Ochlin Kalim. Food is not like vessels. Even if a vessel require Kvisha 72 hours, food only requires Kvisha 24 hours. But furthermore, there are some La Flita Bulumi Miyomi Mechabim, to remove whatever has been absorbed in the walls of the vessel from days of yore, from long period past history. Sorry, this is mine. Need more time. The evidence exists in Basachol, the Chashvin, the Chiddush, the Shriya me'es le'es, Kamosha Kasavnu. The Chiddush, that it's mutter, even if it's soaked, is specifically referring to when it's soaked for 24 hours. Ahmad the Meis Leis Shadin Kavush, so we see that in Meis Leis there is in 24 hours from this day on the watch, the next day on the same time on the watch is din kavush. B'davar charek chometz etzir mei melach. These Rishonim said 24 hours is a shear for any other beverage. So if it's something sharp like vinegar or brine, mei melach, brine comes from the fish. From fish, mei melach comes, or some other substance. Mei melach is just salt water. Pascal, they ruled that bisman. As manakvishu davar muat. The time it takes to pickle it and make a kavush is a much shorter time. They should neno or be as the amount of time it takes to put it on the fire and it should begin to boil. Now, v'selash rabbeinu beis Yosef. Sif Av. It says it writes Ishish Nishra im heter. Makes lace its own end. Something forbidden, which is soaked in something permitted for 24 hours and cold. You can cover it cold soaked. It's like it's cooked. The entire thing becomes also. That's less than that. But it's have to rinse it off. If, however, it's in fish brine or within vinegar, it would tarry there the amount of time it would take to put it on the fire and boil. At that point begin to cook. That's like cooked. That's less than a shear. Anything less than that is only klipa, not fully also. Some say the rak betzir only by this fish brine. Yesh koach hamelkas has the power of salt. Die b'shir zeh. That it's enough the shear of put it on the stove and start boiling. Ava b'chaymetz the vinegar, which is not as strong. So it may say it needs 24 hours. The shall be chodesh. You could ask everybody's Yosef. Shulchan overrides them. So the Bible is like Beistesh. Mishnah is so perkan the Meiser. Perkim the Shabbos. Medame hatana chaymetz tzir. The Tana links chaymetz tzir. So they have the same parameters. Ein shom. Bevare chaymetz yain. She'enu chazak kach. Wine vinegar, which is not so strong, ain't no kitzir. Granted, that's not going to be like a brine. Ava chaymetz chazak, but strong vinegar, I guess less diluted. Dino Kitzir has the same malacha as brine. Our vinegar, which is reduced to 5% acidity in our day and age, so it's not so strong. And Dino Kitzir, it's not like serum. It's what it requires for hours. That we showed them such 20 hours, it only asked to take klipa. Mash, but they klipa, and ask me how to take klipa is also immediately. I mash kosal Stephen Kutsal Gav Stephen Chavtes. That's the way it says it. Hashem Licholeser. It says that the amount of time has to be salted in order to forbid it. Huacharei Kidei Sheishek Kidei Melicha. It's after that he tarried enough time for Licha to take place. Kidei Melicha Lekadar for salting in the what's the place? There's something else. That's the Rabbi says the Shir Melicha that's our Shir Melicha salting tasu at Achar Kadesh Shah Kadei Melicha. It's after enough time elapsed that it's called Kadei Melicha Likdera. The Kalamash McCain. It doesn't sound like this. But you don't know how when it actually takes place. We distinguish between salting, where it's got to have enough salting for a pot. How long that takes. And here it's just enough salt to, I mean, that it just covers enough that it's covers for the purposes of vinegar and brine. That's a bit circular here for me, but I think it's what he's saying. Let's go back a bit, and let's try that again. Mashkasa Paz Mishir is low Nesar Klipa. That what you said that less than this year is not is only Klipas are. So Mashkasa Klipa Nesar Miyan. It's like Klipas are immediately. I'm a seven Simon Sadigal Sips Chavtes, that's our main. It says some Shir Melichal Lesor. No, it's not immediately. It's only after the Shir Kdei Michal Gedera. I don't know what was going through my mind before. I guess it was half asleep. So it's only after that amount, which whatever it is, it's a short amount of time, but it's not immediate. But Kalamash here it doesn't sound like that. But Ikar Ladina is that it has to be after the Shir Limlicha. And the pre-Chodesh right said as well. Your base. Shir Kovish Meis Leis. This 24-hour per shir for real Kovish. Tzarech Lios below F6. It's got to be uninterrupted. Avedate Siruf. But by combining time periods, go to Shari Home Kamashos, it was several hours. More Kamashos, more several other hours. Even in the same day, came with Jehivs. Once you interrupt it, Lona said Kovish is not going to be soaked. If you join everything together, it's 24 hours. But I feel with Siruf. In the Kliva Mayim Bam to May say some Mayim Acherim. Loma Safin says, and even where you could think maybe you can't combine it because it's all soaked the simultaneous, but you change the water in the middle. It's not considered soaked. So they say, my shame, the clock starts over again. You need 24 hours from the second water. So you're going to name this Yaakov. Kovish is true by all Kovish. Near the Gagam, but Sir V'Chometz. Anybody to the Chomesh, which amount of time that makes it Kovish is even only the array the amount of time which it takes to put on the firearm to get to boil. It can't be interrupted. They should say yesh lachmir, but maybe not. Maybe she machmir because it's a chuk. It's already more stringent halacha. Maybe its parameters are more stringent. But tzarich ledina, Arukh HaShulchan is not rendering a definitive psak. You gimel kshem sheyesh is covered with machol. So it's just like there's some soaking in food. Kmo chem bekeli. We mentioned it already, and so too is true about the vessel. She shor is kli after meis leis. Don't previously mention 3 days. That's not the ikar halacha. It's 24 hours. This is nes or kli to is the keli. Uvima shor heter bekli aser, and vice versa. If you soak something which is mutter in a forbidden vessel, shakli basiyama, when the keli is within 24 hours of its previous use. If it's soaking 24 hours, nesar heter, the mutter, the liquid becomes also. Left milk for 24 hours, bekli basar in a fleshing vessel, past your milk, which is in 24 hours of its use. Same idea. But the problem is, other people, I shouldn't say problem, other people argue by when you put a permitted liquid in a forbidden vessel. Shekmar kvisha, because at the end of the kvisha period, who is going to be after 24 hours when you ask last use the pot. Now by that time it says the time of gam, so you have 24 hours. And those same time of shvach in the kvisha to asr. Why doesn't I say pogum? Because again it becomes by then it's pogum. The kvisha ain't about yoima, like any vessel, which is not on the same day of its use. After bliyamat ma'at, even though the absorption happens gradually. For Rova, and that most of it happens within the 24 hours. Nevertheless, soak live for gum. And the final moments are of gum. Those who say that that it's pogum, it's polea, they come at the same time. At that moment, Shenif Gimah became damaged. The taste, both Sarega. At that moment, the Blia was concluded, and Naslan is forbidden. Fees according to this, Ain Aklio Seres, a heter, Shenos Limba. So according to this, still, the Kli will not answer the heter within it, and it can't take unless immediately. Kishair Meno Isser, when they removed Isser, immediately Naslan after they put the heter in at that point in time exactly. Okay, because otherwise, Hare Kama, Gima La Blia. Otherwise, the Bekima precedes the Blia. That's the Magen Avram. Yesh, some say the Begam Ba Me'acha Me'es Leis. Some say the Begam comes after 24 hours. 24 hours in a moment. V'ablia so Me'es Leis, and the Blia comes at 24 hours. So therefore, even so, the Kama Blia Begam, the Blia is coming for the Begam. Good clap. That's pretty harsh. Chokim Shem is that all vessels are equal in this. Ben Shel Matas, whether it's metal, Ben Shel Eitz, or wood, Shel Cheres, or pottery. Issue some say Kli Cheres Kodesh B'Leim Yad. If it's a new, some say new pottery vessel, which is particularly permeable, it immediately absorbs. So I comment Sim Kuf Lamed Hey. See you later on. And I also say Pri Chodesh and Pri Begonim. It says in the brackets. You got Kosa Ben Ramo. The Romans to come, anytime we say soaked is like cooked. I feel also even what's sticking out of the solution is also by the soaking below it permeates above. Come over the visual like by cooking. Some people are leaning with that which is outside the surface of the liquid. I come sure. End quote. Even though by meat which is salted in a vessel, which is not perforated, also that which is outside the brine, which obviously we saw with this in some test, so you saw in some test. Because the blood moves around inside. But any other prohibited substance, we don't say it permeates up. Even though by fatty prohibition, we say it does permeate up. That's by salting and roasting. Not by soaking. We can explain the reason. That permeates above when we time the sicha has to do with boiling. That's why by salting and roasting, there's a lot of heat from the salt and from the fire. Whose man katzar, the time of mlicha and the time of tzliya, which only take a small amount of time to answer. There, it's possible to say that heat works. It's effective. But soaking requires 24 hours. The absorption goes very slowly, gradually. Payment chamim, which there's no heat. It doesn't permeate above. Therefore, if it's soaked in brine or vinegar, the ashir kumo b'tzliya, where the shear is the amount of time like roasting. Okay, in that case, where the shear is much smaller, then the P4 can last as long as it lasts by tzli, and okay, it's going to be awesome, even on top. But because it's more powerful. But not necessarily where it's regular soaking. And he says, he thinks that this is the primary halacha. This we fulfill both halachas, both opinions for halacha. Sometimes it does answer outside when it's a brine or vinegar. Sometimes it does not answer outside when it's regular soaking. This is something by fatty prohibition. Also by soaking, we say it permeates upwards. Only that which you say by salting and by roasting or machir, even if it's a thin iser. There's how Simon said, as we're going to see later on. That we're not machir by soaked. That's a sharp chodesh. Avo mistimas l'shon from the Ramah doesn't sound that way from the way he writes down. If it was held in his min, as Kirsch mentioned, that by when it's fatty, everybody concedes. So let's see if it's in the type of kvisha which requires 24 hours. Even if it's fatty, it doesn't permeate above. The kvisha material chometz, and when you on the other hand pickling with vinegar or with brine, low griyam melicha she's buried in machmir kol gavne. It's no different than the melicha, which we're going to explain, where we're machmir no matter what. Because it's much shorter, of course, we said before, but it's going to come back there evidently in the beginning. In the in the next part, which we'll see tomorrow.